Good afternoon, everybody. It's Wednesday, 24th. Can you believe it's the 24th of October already? About 4 o'clock, back over here to continue work. Got some new toys. I think I had mentioned I was going to get some of this stuff. I got the 2.2 spray tip for spraying 2K primer for the gun. Got a nice roll of 320 sanding paper. This is a 3M brand Stick It, I think it's called. So I'll give this a shot and see what this is like. A couple more Dora blocks, just to give me, so I don't have to rip the paper on and off. And they're like 10, 12 bucks a piece, maybe 15. So I figured that was, even though the paper is going to probably be cheaper or whatever, I just easier not to rip the stuff off all the time. And I got a pretty cheesy spray gun cleaning kit. There's a lot of little small brushes and stuff in here. With that thicker 2K primer, I was finding that the brushes that I have, which was essentially like this big coarse one here, just wasn't doing the trick with getting in the tighter spots of the holes and all that kind of stuff. So I don't remember how much this thing was, 10 bucks, 12 bucks. It's not very expensive. Pretty cheesy stuff. It's a little cheapo plastic case and everything. I'm sure that'll break pretty soon, but it should serve its purpose for now. But like I said, I'm going to get going on the door, and I'll show you that here, or excuse me, the boot lid in the door, and I'll show you that here in a second. So towards the end of the last video, I'm pretty sure I showed you the couple spots in the boot lid here. I missed a spot down here, and I've got this this stuff where I need to obviously do some filler, and maybe a little bit right here. But on the door, I had sanded through to some bare metal spots here, and a little bit larger one here. So I went to the SPI form, and you know, I knew the answer. Essentially, you got bare metal there, you shouldn't leave bare metal, and the 2K primer is not designed to really go over bare metal. So in collision work, they said, yeah, you can get away with putting 2K primer on it, but again, you know, that's galvanized steel and all that in a modern car. This is definitely not that. So what I'm going to do is try to knock these down a little bit with a little bit of hammering, but I'm not going to go crazy by any means, and then have to shoot this thing in epoxy again, and then go back to the 2K primer. Again, I'm to the point where it's just too much work and too far along. Like I said, I knew what the right answer was. I just didn't really want to hear it, and as I've done several times, especially working on the chassis and first time around for a lot of this stuff, like painting the Raptor liner underneath, I was going to get away with one coat and decided to go with two. Sometimes, you know, getting out of here and sleeping on this stuff for a day or two or 3 or 4, you know, makes me see the error of my ways, so to speak, and come back at it. So I'm going to get some filler on the boot lid, just so I can get that going and get it ready to cure up, so it doesn't get, you know, in my way to continue work. Come over here, do a little bit of adjustments on these metal spots here, and then go back to the boot lid and start working that. Boot lid's got a second coat of filler on it. You could probably see that I did most of that back. That thing's still a mess. Got the couple of spots that I missed. Threw the door back up here, sanded down a little bit, picked up real light high spots again, and really can't feel these at all. I mean, I close my eyes and everything, I can't feel that depression at all from those high spots. So I'm essentially good with the way that this door sits again. So I'll shoot epoxy on it, full strength coats on it, 2 of them, and then go with the high build primer again when I get around to hopefully high build primering the boot lid, but that's not going to definitely not be tonight. Give that boot lid a little bit more time here, and God forbid, I think I'm going to bring the second door out, driver's side door, and start working on that. We'll see what that looks like here and throw it up on the stand and see how bad that one is. All right, so this is the driver's side door. Again, it's hard to see, hard to focus, so I'm going to try to show you using that stream of light if you can see it. So we'll follow that one down. You can see a little bit of imperfection there. Pretty heavy duty blur right there. There's a good dent right here. Coming down, a little bit of an indentation there. And then the lightning bolt there, what I've got here is that big crease. And I think I had mentioned that before. I don't know what happened there, but it's got pretty hard ding across that side. Continuing on, got all sorts of mess in there. You can see all that waviness. There's some holes that I had to fill here with welding. One here. If you can see that scrape, you can see that scrape. So you can see that one there. that one there, that one there. That's from me grinding, so the door got hit or something going on at that point. Another pretty good crease right there. You can see that in the shadow. This crease on where the door actually is supposed to be creased, it's probably at least as bad. You can see a couple right there, a couple smaller dings there. Another fill hole right there, if you can see that. I think that was rust, if I remember correctly. Bottom doesn't feel incredibly bad, especially up here. It's not too bad. Little collateral damage. Pretty good, if you can see that one there. Pretty good little ding there. And then I've got some damage up here. You can see right there, and working my way up, you can see all those like pock marks. That is from where the door hinge broke. The door strap, you know, the check strap, there we go. It's where the door check strap broke, and this was opening into the bonnet and smacking into the bonnet over the years, or however long it took, you know, to do. And then I got two smaller imperfections up here, and this is just where I filled metal in from where the side view mirror was. So obviously that one's probably the worst one. Where I've got the weld repairs, I'm probably just going to hit with filler. I don't think I'm going to really be able to bang those out very well, because I'm sure they're work hardened from the welding. And again, I've got the damage around the door pull where it just got bent over the years. So I don't know that I can say it's any better or any worse than the passenger's door, just a different set of challenges. So we'll start working on that just a couple minutes here, and then I'm going to grab a bite to eat and then get back onto the boot lid. I just want to see what I can do here. First coat's on. Happy with the way that it looks on the door. Still have a little bit of cratering, but not too bad. Hopefully that's something that'll come through by the time I get to shooting color. But you can see, I think, all of the modeling on the boot lid again. I'm trying to go light on the first coats of this epoxy to try to prevent some of that heavy duty cratering, and go from there. So I got about another 15-minute wait here. I'll get the second coat pounded on, and then that's going to be it for the night. I've got a leaky toilet at home that I've got to fix, so that's always fun. The home maintenance never ends. So outside of that, I'll see you guys next time I show up. And now it's Saturday. Time to pick back up with the boot lid. Got the two coats of epoxy primer on here, all sorts of scratch marks and sanding marks and everything like that. I didn't prep this one incredibly well, but I'm going to go through and get these holes re-holed just to clean them up a little bit and get the stuff, the filler out of there before I put the polyester filler on there. I intend to cover the whole door with that. I don't think there's any more spots on here that are too bad. And then I've got the driver's side door that's still behind the tarp over there that I'll work on after getting the polyester on here, and then just continue on with the hammer and dolly on this and that and the other thing. And then I may or may not get a coat of build primer on the passenger side door. If you remember, I hit it with epoxy the last visit, or just a couple seconds ago actually in this video. And I'd like to get build primer on there, but we'll see if I get to that point or not. Not a big deal if I don't think, because the you know, I don't really have to prep that anymore. So there you go. So that's what the plan is for today. So I've got the filler that's come through the Triumph lettering holes here. In hindsight, I probably should have cleaned this up before letting it dry in here, because now I'm going to try to bang it from this side. I'm just going to use a punch and a hammer. So just a regular old standard punch that you would try to countersink Brad's nails or something in your you know, floor molding, and just try to bang these through. The problem that I'm probably going to have is that I'm going to carry too much of it with me on the other side and probably blow the hole out, and it's not going to be nice and smooth. So we'll see how it works here, but I can't see where the holes are on the other side, so I kind of probably screwed myself. We'll see. Definitely very effective on getting them out. It's very easy to pound it out. We'll see when I turn it over. Alright, so all those are pounded out. Truth is in the pudding here. Get you focused here and let you see. Alright, those aren't too bad. But then on this one here, I don't know if it's going to focus for you or not. It's not really doing a good job of focusing, but this top one here, I blew out a good layer. That looks, actually that looks about the only one. So not too bad, just not going to do it that way next time. I've got the polyester filler I'm going to do next here, so I'll try to fill those holes in with the polyester. But yeah, not the best idea in the world to leave those things go. So I'll get these cleaned up with the file like I showed you last time, the little file trick, just to get these all to bare metal, and then go from there. Try and prevent the filler from sticking in the holes and staying in there. I put tape on the back of it. This is the inside of the boot lid, and I'm hoping that as the filler starts to dry a little bit and cure up, I'll reach back here and take the tape off and maybe pull that filler that filled the holes through. I'm not sure if this will work. I'm just giving it a shot. We'll see. Two or three processes of polyester filler here, and I think this should be the last one. Especially in here on the roll there, as it curves down, that's a little bit painful, but otherwise it's coming out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to get this all sanded down when it cures. I just put it on there and quick fit it to the car and just kind of look across it and make sure that I haven't totally warped the heck out of this thing. I got the door over there. I'm working on that while I'm waiting for stuff to dry. That's going to be a slow process. Seems to be coming up a little bit better, especially towards the front here. The door is not in as bad a shape, but towards the back there, it took a shot at some point, like I had mentioned, so that's taken most of the work. But moving along. All right, as far as I am concerned, the boot lid is done with the filler and polyester. So there's still a coat of epoxy primer that I'll put on her. I did put it on the car. The boot lid is warped slightly. It rises up a little bit in this back right corner here, so on the passenger side, but otherwise it looked okay. I'm not going to really concern myself with it. That it was sitting flat. I didn't hinge it up or anything like that, and there was no rubber seal in there, so I'm sure the rubber will take care of it. It's not that much. So I'll put this in the hopper to get paint on there. It's about 12:35 or so right now. I do want to get paint on there, and I want to use the new spray gun tip for the fill or build primer, so that's another thing. But sitting right underneath the boot lid here is the driver's door. I'm going to work on that for probably another hour or two, and then try to hopefully get that into epoxy. We'll see how that goes. Still a lot of work to do on the door here. Again, most of the concentration of damage is here. It's coming around. I used some shrink disc and hammer and dolly and stuff to get in there, but like here, this vein of damage here, and I think I'm going to get that out. This crease is coming out a little bit better, but not great. This other crease I'm kind of working out. Again, it's just the access thing, trying to get a hammer and dolly in there, using a lot of the slapping spoon with a dolly underneath. That's what I found has been somewhat effective. These two low spots here. Anyway, a lot of work still to go on that. I'm not going to get this in epoxy today, because the next visit I'll still want to do some hammer and dolly work. Doesn't really do me any good to epoxy it today. I did get about 4 coats of build primer on the door. Happy with the way that looks now, and I'll sand that again, but pretty lightly. One, I don't want to get to any low spots or any high spots. Pretty straight, but I'm going to this is pretty much cured up now and sandable, but I'm just not going to do it today. And get that set aside and clean this boot lid up one last time. I got some epoxy inducing right now. I'll get another coat or two coats of epoxy on this guy, and probably call it for the day. First coat of the epoxy primer's on there, went on pretty well. No concerns, and actually no cratering at all, so I think I got the gun set up right, at least for this. This was a little easier. It always has come out a little bit better, maybe just because it's so flat than the doors did. But I will write this stuff down like I have been, just to take notes of how much I'm mixing and all that stuff. But it looks good. So that's going to be it for me for this weekend. I will be in sometime during the week. But thanks again, everybody, for watching, liking, and subscribing. Please visit the website, www.roundtailrestoration.com. Otherwise, have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see you guys sometime next week. Cheers.